Man, oh man, oh man. The Atlanta Falcons today take it on the head today. 20-6 against the Detroit Lions. Woo! That was a tough one to watch, folks, but we're going to still talk about it one way or the other. Atlanta Falcons, Lions, what do you like, what you didn't like, which was a lot not to like, and how do we go forward? 2-1, still feeling a little bit good about things, but got to talk about how ineffective the offensive line was today. And is there a finger to point at Coach Arthur Smith? Let's talk about it. What is going on, everybody? How you doing out there in Atlanta Falcons fan land? You're here in Uncle Steve's Lounge here on YouTube. Make sure that you're coming in. Y'all hit the like button for me. Appreciate it. If you're on Facebook, thank you for joining us. Appreciate everyone coming in today. I think we got a little spoiled as far as people who do this, content creators and probably even journalists and people who cover the Atlanta Falcons, because it's been pretty easy the first couple of weeks. Not a lot to talk about. 2 wins. You can nitpick about a couple of things, but when you win 2 games, you have a little bit of room to say, okay, we did this, but we still won. Now what happens today? Today, Atlanta Falcons take their first loss. They dropped to 2-1. All is not lost. New Orleans Saints lost today. And Tampa Bay plays Philadelphia, which may be a good chance they'll lose. But 2-1 is better than 1-2 and 0-3. I'll take that optimism. But not a very good showing from our offensive line. And again, for the 3rd week in a row, even when we were winning the last 2 weeks, questions about play call. I don't know, man. I can't make this stuff up. Arthur Smith makes you scratch your head. I scratch your head so much you don't have any hair left, but it is what it is. 20-6, Atlanta takes it on the chin. Bottom line is, y'all, Detroit came in here. Well, we went to Detroit and Detroit beat us. Plain and simple, old-fashioned. I thought this was going to be a shootout. Detroit's defense showed me nothing the week before against Seattle. They said that they were going to, bow up and just be absolutely tougher on the line of scrimmage. But they dominated. And you got to give them credit. They're 2-1. That win against Kansas City is looking mighty good now. But, the bottom line, we lost to the better team today. Detroit did their thing. And I just want to hear what everyone has to say. I'm just very interested. I'm going to probably go out of my mind and maybe put the link in a little bit later. But I want to hear 2 things today. I want to hear, 1, do you think we lost the game or Detroit won the game? And what I mean by that is there are a lot of plays and decision making that was going on there that makes you say, I wonder, did Arthur Smith really call this game correctly? Or did Detroit just outmuscle our offensive line? And that's a fair point, too. I mean, the defense was crazy. Hutchinson's future is going to be pretty bright. But I want to know, did Atlanta lose the game or did Detroit absolutely win the game? And if you're playing semantics, you know what I mean. I know it's the same. I'm kind of on the borderline. I think Detroit did very well in the trenches, and as everyone talks about, you can't win without a defensive line, you can't win without an offensive line. And I think both did well today. So that's where I am right now. Did we win the game? Did we lose the game, or did Detroit win the game? Let's see what everyone thinks. I'm go to the chat right away. Dondre's in the house. He said, time for Ritter to ride to Pine. You know, surprisingly, I'm not going to absolutely positively shoot Ritter in the foot today, y'all. Out of all three games, this is the one I'm not going to do it. I'm not. Dude had half a second to throw the ball today. And the couple of times he probably did have time, he was probably so eager, he was overthrowing the guy, and he wasn't doing it all game. But dude had no time. Was it? Am I right? Was it 7 sacks today? Make sure I'm looking at this correct. 7 sacks. 7 sacks, folks. The man didn't have time. And I have never been a Ritter apologist. If you don't have time, you can't throw the ball. If you don't have time, you can't look down the field. He didn't have time today. David said today was pathetic offensively. What exactly was our plan of attack? I don't know. I don't think he really answered the question in the press conference either. Marina said, what's going on? Oh, we play like absolute garbage today. What can you expect from a rookie quarterback who sat behind Mr. Interception himself, Mario? Shaking his head. Woo! It looked bad. Big Double A, what's going on? Good evening. What is going on with the line? The line is the question, folks. The line is the question, and we can sit here and play games about it. Our line has not played well. We did some good things in the run game, obviously, last couple of weeks, but today we got exposed. And I know it was a road game, and I know Detroit was fired up and all that good stuff, but we got exposed today, y'all. We did. Shaka Zulu is here. What's up? Oh, sad day at the office. Very sad day. Aaron says spoiled. Hey, absolutely. Think about it, fans. Last couple of years, Aaron, we were already in this position by game 3. This year we were 2-0. Almost kind of similar to a team out in the Mountain West area who jumped out to a big start in college and came back down to earth. Same way. No hate, just facts. David says we got beat by 2 touchdowns and the Lions only scored 20 points. Again, I was going to get to that. The defense, I'm sorry, folks. I know people are going to look at the yards and everything like that, and you have a right to. Jared Goff, 243 yards. They rushed 31 times for 115 yards, less than 4 yards a carry. Folks, our defense was not the problem today. Did we have some mess ups? Absolutely. Richie Grant. Richie cost us one. But to give up 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals, folks, you're supposed to be in this game. And somewhere between the third quarter, we were out of this game completely. It's just weird. Pasta Girl says 3rd and 6 and we call a draw play. Yeah, that's crazy. We could be the Broncos. You're absolutely right. Broncos got destroyed. It made me so happy to see Sean Payton get humiliated all those years at New Orleans. Bubba Franklin, what's going on, man? How you doing, my brother? That's my Army buddy right there. Hope everything going right. Y'all make sure as y'all coming in to hit the like button for me, especially on YouTube. Get this thing out there into the stratosphere. Let everybody see what's going on. Dondre says, I'm a fan, but today shows Ritter cannot read the field and Arthur Smith back to conservative play calling. Again, y'all, I want to make it clear. I am not here and never been here. If you've been watching me several times, I do not defend Desmond Ritter. Hardly ever. And when I say I don't defend him, doesn't mean I don't support him. But we pointing the wrong fingers today, folks. 7 sacks, and I think I saw 15. Well, let me see what the quarterback hits were. Right quick. Folks, I don't care if you're Desmond Ritter or Patrick Mahomes. They hit him 8 times. 7 sacks, 8 quarterback hits. That's not a Desmond game. This is not the game that you go back in time and say, Desmond messed that up. Not today. Sorry. And you're talking about somebody, again, who's been fair in my analysis of Desmond Ritter. Today wasn't the day to do that. He was failed by his line. Jeremy Cox, what's going on, buddy? Say it was a non-divisional loss against a great defense in their house. Ritter looked bad, but so did about 7 other guys on that side of the ball, not freaking out. Yeah, no, and you're absolutely right, Jeremy. This is not a freak out game, y'all. Everything he said is right. We went to their house. They were already stinging from an overtime loss to Seattle, a game that they probably should have won. They came home ticked off, and we were the sacrificial lambs. That's nothing to be scared. Nothing to be, we're upset, but it is what it is. That happens. But it's not an all Desmond. This is not going to be the all beat up on Desmond day. It can be for you if you want to, but not for me. Arthur Smith and Rigon are trash. I can kind of concur with that. I still don't know what the plan is, y'all. I still don't know. I've heard so many folks try to explain to me the identity. Now, I know the identity is to run the ball. I get that. It seemed like today, somebody else showed me. It seemed like today their identity was to try to pass the ball. Am I the only one that saw that? It looked like today they were trying to pass the ball. And I say to myself, if it ain't broke, I don't know. Aaron says, Bubba, the O-line stink. Ritter holding the ball too long and play calling. And he's starting to stare receivers down, too. Boy, that's a John Harris euphemism if there ever was one. He's staring those receivers down. And granted, I understand his clock. There was one specific play that I saw where he held that ball so long, and I said to myself, clock, Desmond. I understand you out there. I understand they've been knocking you over and stuff like that. Brother, you don't have 5 seconds. You don't. You got to throw that ball away. And when you have 8 straight 3 and outs, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Dre says, what's going on with Patterson? I don't know. Scott, what's going on, man? Scott said, what's up? O-line was as ineffective as Arthur Smith's play calling, and Ritter's greenness was in full display. Arthur Smith doesn't know what to do with this team. That's at least a consensus we got so far. The consensus is I have never claimed to be a guru about calling plays and all of that. Never. Not even going to try to. But it doesn't take a genius to figure out something isn't clicking. When you score 6 points, and Koo, I'm about to get on Koo too. Come on, bro. Got to hit these field goals, man. Got to hit these field goals. Come on. Come on, that's what you brought in here for. JJ's in the house. What's up, JJ? How you doing, brother? David Starr says the problem is that our quarterback can't throw the ball over the defense's head. Yeah. You see the look on Pitt's face on a couple of those passes, y'all? Pitts looks like somebody. I'm not saying he doesn't want to be here, but he looks like somebody that's saying, "Oh man, I did this last year. That's how I got help. That's how I got hurt." Pasta Girl says, "I say both. Atlanta lost the game or Detroit won the game." Dre said, "And Dane Pitts need to play like he's in the NFL. This is not Florida." I hear you. I don't know. Tim says, "We lost the game. Our offense is not what it should be. I really think we need to take a chance early and put Heineke in. I don't think Ritter is ready." See, people saw the little clip of Ritter yelling into the crowd. He's got moxie. He's ready. I'm like, okay. Because on the road, for everybody wants to bring up stats, on the road, we're 0-3. It is what it is. And I'm not giving up on him by far. Nobody's giving up on Ritter. I'm not. He could bounce right back this week. Jaguars took it on the chin. Who knows? Maybe we can do something with that. Scott said Ritter was definitely holding the ball too long. Flashbacks to MR2. Scott. Woo! You're going to make them Ryan Knights and Desmians come out at us, man. But you're accurate. JJ said Detroit won the game. They look like the better team. And today, they absolutely look like the better team. Even before Detroit scored that last touchdown and I think was that the fourth quarter? Yes, they scored the last touchdown in the fourth quarter. Before they scored that, it just seemed like it was 13-3 for a long time. And it was. Yeah, nobody scored in the third quarter. And time after time, we're getting chances and we're not taking advantage of them. But again, offensive line. Yes, I'm looking at you, Caleb McGarry. Yes, I'm looking at you, Jake. I saw Aiden put a spin move on you that I hadn't seen in a while. Got to play better. You got to protect your quarterback. I don't care whether it's Desmond Ritter or Patrick Mahomes or today Tua. Wow, 70 points. Whoever it is, you got to protect. You got to. But Bubba says Atlanta lost the game. You're absolutely right. I think he did. Jeremy says the Jags just got served up by Houston in Jacksonville. I consider Jacksonville pretty solid. Trusting the marathon and not the snapshot. I hear you, Jeremy. You're right. But then you could turn around and the Jags come back and get it all together next week. So next week, think about it. Both teams hurting. Jags and Falcons limping into the game. And I know the Falcons are 2-1. But both of those teams looking for redemption. And you know what? Maybe this is good for the Falcons. For all of the, you know what? This is how we are. We're going to we're going to do a little bit of running. We're going to be rugged. We're going to be whatever. Well, you know what? That showed today that formula doesn't always work. So maybe we need to go back to the drawing board. I'm just surprised they came out throwing as much as they did. Not saying that you shouldn't. David Stark says a little bit of both. We got our buttons. Yes. Yes. Big time, Big Low. What's going on, my friend? Y'all make sure y'all check out Big Low Country Sports on YouTube. Go check out his video he put on after the game. I'm telling y'all, man, he was dead on. We lost. I think we did. I'm not gonna be mad if anybody say Detroit won the game because they did dominate, but we lost that game. Marina agrees. He said, we lost the game. We didn't even show up. We left for London early. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they were trying to think about those tea and crumpets a little bit early. David says a little bit of both. We got our butts kicked, but we swung wild and missed a few shots. So yes. Yes. JJ said offense was absolutely pathetic. Defense did all they could in the second half, even got an interception, and the offense still crapped on that interception. That made me so mad. Because at some point, folks, and I've already given the defense their props, 8 straight 3-and-outs. Your defense is giving you opportunities, and for 8 straight series, you get the ball right back. At some point, the defense is going to get tired. And even when they were tired, Jesse still comes up with a big play. Yes, yeah, we gave away some things in between, some stuff we got to clean up. Excuse me. But if your defense gives up 20 points, you're giving your offense a chance to win. That's just me. Travis, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Hey, I say we lost that game. Our offense was not converting anything. 3 of the first 5 possessions with 3 and out. Yeah, and then add a few more to it. Facebook user says no adjustments in the second half either. Go blame coaching. I hear you. G says O-line did not earn their pay today. Not at all. And a hefty pay it is, G. Matthews still making a lot of money. McGarry and Lindstrom just got broke off. They've got to do better. And I'm not saying we don't have those, this is just that type of game. I mean, everybody has a clunker. Baltimore had a clunker today. Dallas had a clunker today. Good. New Orleans had a clunker today. Every team goes through a clunker. I would love to get these out of the way now as opposed to later on in the season. But boy, that was ugly. Mike Franklin is in the house. What's up, Mike? Says, what's happening, brother? Offense was awful today. Very. Very, Mike. Very. ATLAX, what's up, man? Said, we lost the game. Our offense did absolutely nothing. I give Detroit their credit, but their offense simply didn't come to play. Again, y'all, Jared Goff, who seemed to complete every pass, was not really completing every pass. He was 22 for 33, 243. He hit them when he needed to. Quarterback rating, 58. Well, by the ESPN thing. The normal was 85-8. He wasn't spectacular. Facebook user says, can't blame the defense. They were on the field the whole game. The whole game and more. The whole game and more. Trying to look at the time of possession here. Where's my time of possession, y'all? Time of possession really wasn't that bad. 32 to 27. It really wasn't. So, yeah, but they were on. That defense seemed like they were there forever. Give them a lot of credit. And give them credit for conditioning too, man. That defense stays in there pretty long. I am concerned, though, sometimes when they have Calais out there on the edge on a couple of those plays that I was kind of like, I don't know, 3rd and 2, something like that. I'm not sure if I'm putting him right there on that edge. I'd rather slide him on the inside and let Dupree or Ellis or somebody else that can have the speed to catch those guys on the edge. I think they see Big Calais out there. I'm not sure if they think he can catch him. Smart Ride, what's up? Said we can't keep ignoring the obvious, but this coach is a one-trick pony, 60% outside zone read, and when that's not working, he gives up. It feels like it. It feels like it. RJ Falcon, what's up? Said, good evening, Unc. I was disappointed with the offensive side of the ball. While Ritter isn't the best quarterback, I'm not going to talk bad about the young man this ball game. It's Coach Smith's fault. I have seen so far 5-1 blaming Arthur Smith. Like I said, none of us are experts, but all of us have eyes. Some of us 4. I see the same thing. Again, as y'all coming in, make sure y'all hit the like button for me, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Please hit it for me if you get a chance. JJ the Great said Lions stacked the box and forced Ritter to beat them and just pinned their ears back. That's absolutely seemed like it. Aaron says they have to work on the O-line going forward in order to really evaluate Ritter. That's my opinion. That's what this is, brother. Aaron, that's what I asked you for. I want opinions. I'm not right about everything. I'm trying to see what everybody else thinking, just to see if I'm losing my mind or not. JJ also says, no, I'm freaking out over the offensive line and pass pro. They were bad last year and they're bad this year. Detroit had 1 sack coming into this game and they had 7 today. 7 sacks is inexcusable. Facebook user said no adjustments in the second half. Some of the same stuff. Y'all saying the same things. You're saying the same things. that's telling me either all of us are absolutely wrong, or somebody needs to do some reevaluating on their play calling in Flowery Branch. I don't know. RJ Falcon says he needs to get the O-line together. They play absolutely horrible. This has to be fixed. Kyle Pitts look like he doesn't want to be part of the team. He's not engaged fully. I'm being honest. That's the look I told you. You could tell. And it's frustrating. Don't get me wrong. Listen, they won 2 games. Everybody's all happy. They're making nice videos and all that good stuff, and that's great. But what happens when you lose? So now we see going into this long trip to London, now you got a chip on your shoulder. Now, not saying it's do or die. Jeremy was bringing up the fact about we lost to a non-division. Well, yes, but we also lost to a conference team. So if you get into wild card stuff, Detroit is going to have one up on you. I'm big on the conference games too. Don't get me wrong. Division games are strong because you're trying to win the division first. But these are those games. These are the teams, the Detroits, the Minnesotas, the Green Bays. Those are the teams that you need to beat head to head. The Seattles, if you get it, we don't play them this year, but the Seattles, those are the teams you have to beat, the NFC teams, in order to have, a chance. Jimmy said, what's up? The defense is as good as expected, but offense, we still lead the division, but this can't happen. Well, we lead the division unless Baker Mayfield pulls something out of his hat. They upset Philly, and we've had upsets today. If they upset Philly tomorrow, they'll be 3-0. Dre says Bates for president, 3 interceptions. Bates has already earned his first year salary. Bates is out there, and he hitting folks too. Perry, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the lounge. Say Arthur Smith needs to be fired as OC of the Falcons for having Desmond Ridder throw 40 times in this game. Also, has anyone seen Scotty Miller? I thought he would have been a good third down and red zone person. Scotty fielded a punt 2 weeks ago against Carolina. I don't know if he played last week or not. But yeah, I don't know. Kadero Hodge made an appearance today. So 95 North Falcons talk show. What's going on? If y'all get a chance to go back when you're watching your replays, I know you do because I do, and get a chance to see my buddy Berto and Smitty in the Sports Machine. They had Big Abe, John Abraham, number 55, on the post game today. Please go back and watch that show. Support them. Run up them likes for the videos, and please subscribe if you get a chance to. He says, man, that was horrible today. Defense held in as long as they could. Yeah, that was tough. Scooter, what's up, man? Say, I'm not a guru play caller either, but throwing the ball on 2nd and 3, lose yards, and then run on 3rd and 5. Scooter, it baffles your mind. And here's the thing I try to always say, because I'm so quick when I hear former high school players and former Pee Wee coaches and, current AAU coach or anybody that comes out and they come with all this knowledge and say, well, technically you're not supposed to, whatever. But I'm Scooter, I'm with you. It's 2nd and 3. What have you been doing this year better than any other team basically in the NFL? Run the dang ball. But is it leading to that thing where last week we were talking about in the goal got a little cute? Are you trying to get cute? I know you have to mix things up. I'm not saying you don't, but man, if we have this no nonsense thought about our team, man, run the dang ball, man. It's frustrating to watch, especially from afar. The Falconator is in the house. What's going on, Vinny? How you doing, my friend? So nobody said we were going 17-0. Defensively, we played well. Could have been a lot worse with so many failed 3-down conversions. We cannot rely simply on the run. Detroit's solid defense proved that. The O-line and our passing game have got to improve. Disappointed? Yes. Discouraged? No. We are on the rise. Let's head over to the pond and get back to work. Plain and simple. And he had very good points. Yeah, you cannot run every time. I get it. I was going back to Scooter's point, though. 2nd and 3. Sometimes you got to figure out, I'm going to need y'all to push through. Please. Every now and then. Super chat in the house. What's going on, man? And JJ, this is JJ again. Thank you, JJ. Appreciate the $5 super chat. On the positive note, Sean Payton talked mad smack about the Broncos' last coach, only for him to be 0-3 and lost the game by 50 points. Is that crazy? Because I forgot about that. When he called out Nathaniel Hackett earlier this year. And I think I was back in broadcaster mode. But the look on his face in his press, it's so weird. I was more excited to see his press conference today than I was to see Arthur Smith. Just to see Mr. Choke, just to see what he would say after getting his butt handed to him today. That was beautiful to see. Thank you, JJ. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. Get back down here. Dondre says you let Goff score a dang touchdown. Make that make sense, and we let a darn rookie get his first touchdown. Well, on both of those occasions, brother, you got two. You only just said 2 touchdowns, Dre. Your defense gave up 20 points. We didn't give up 30. We didn't give up 27. And let's keep it real. That last touchdown was basically after we had kind of tried to go for the 4th down, and they just ran the ball back down our throat. So I'm not concerned about letting a rookie get his first touchdown, or my man, what's my man name? Goff run the touchdown. That was a beautiful play. It's a beautiful play call. That's what you do down there. Kind of similar to what Ritter did last week. Paul Star says, man, that first deep ball was on the money, but Pitts quit on the route again. Probably could have been a touchdown. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm sure everybody has seen the optics of what Pitts has been looking like. And I don't know. It could be stuff behind the scenes. You never know. Facebook users say they are the better team. Pat Town 30 says, did they bring the O-line or the closing in today? Oh, man. Berto says, I thought that Bates' interception would have been the momentum change we needed, but dang. Yeah, I mean, I saw that and I was like, yes, here we go. And it just wasn't there. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's some magic at home that Ritter have. Everybody's ready to throw stats about how great Ritter is and 29 games straight at his home stadium. Not doing me any good if I can't win on the road. Eventually. I know one game. I'm going to go back to what Benny said. Excuse me. One game. It is what it is. Facebook user says we got exposed. Scott says, I like Ritter, but Arthur Smith ain't doing him any favors. Not today. Not today. What's going on, Coach? How you doing, man? Said, boy, so much to say about this game, Coach. He said, everything I've been saying has come to a head, but what I do know is I'm a sellout. Hey, brother, in that case, then a lot of us are sellouts because that was pretty disgusting today. And again, I understand it's 1 out of 17. I'm not, by no means is the season over. Matter of fact, do I think we can bounce right back next week and do our thing overseas? Yes. But it was just ugly. When your team is on TV, look, if you're, yeah, we could be Denver. You're right. But we didn't score a touchdown today, folks. Not a touchdown. Indianapolis scored and won. Yeah. Tim says, we will not be a playoff team if we cannot pass. This is true. Absolute facts. We got to learn how to get that passing game going. Antonio said the defense got tired. Absolutely. I give them I give the defense, make me wrong. I'm giving the defense a pass today. I think they played worse last week against Green Bay. And when I say worse, the second half they played. The fourth quarter they played much better. They played a worse game last week. They played a really good game today. If you give up 20 points in the NFL, if you only give up 2 touchdowns in a game, folks, that's good defense. Facebook user says, I'll say this about the defense. Boy, they did not quit the entire game. We got a tough defense. It's hard right now. We have these weapons that score 6 points. And think about that. Think about this, y'all. We're talking about, with the history we've had from the Falcons the last few years, we are talking about how good the defense is. And, oh my God, what's up with the offense? It's amazing how things have flipped. A couple of years ago, we were like, Matt Ryan throws for 400 yards, but the defense can't stop anybody. Fast forward 3-4 years, we got a defense that's competitive, yet we can't score. And I know we scored last game, and I know we scored against Carolina. I'm just saying, but you have to learn how to win on the road eventually. Even if we go, and I think we only have the 8 games because we got the London game this year. We got 8 home games. Even if we win 8 games, if we don't win on the road, folks, we're not going anywhere. Dre says, everything we doing can and will work. Just need to change one thing. Desmond Ridder with a threat downfield or even 15 yards that will open up the run game. Look, did Desmond take a little bit step back today? Yes. Coach is right. But I also say, Coach, I can't in good conscience put it all on him today. I think the offensive line absolutely did not do him any favors today. But I understand what you're saying. Berto says, Atlanta's inability to generate sacks is still a concern. Oh, yeah. This was against a banged-up offensive line, and somebody, one of the tackles was lost during the game. And what did we end up with? 0 sacks? We did this last year, y'all. New Orleans game got 4 sacks off the rip and then didn't see another sack for a while. Come on, at some point, I was one of the first people. I was saying, coming into this season, everybody kept saying, who's the most important person coming in this season? I say Ryan Nielsen. Now, Ryan has come through on what he's doing schematically, defensively. Yeah, we got a couple of plays. The long pass was definitely a goof off or whatever. But for the most part, 10 points, 24 points last week, 20 points this week. I'll take that all day. You got to learn how to score. Can't win if you can't score. Antonio says, it's just me or Richard Grant takes bad angles every time. It's so funny. Everybody is saying that. I don't know. I didn't know if Richard Grant was going to make the team this year. I didn't. Chop, what's going on, man? So what's up, Steve? It's apparent that this is not the Tennessee team with Henry in that line. Also, where are the brothers on offensive line? Just being realistic, brothers are generally superior athletes. Okay, I'm not going to go into the genetics of all of that, but you do have to wonder about, is he thinking that he has this Tennessee team from a long time ago? You're absolutely right. Marina says, put the handcuffs on McGarry. Class A felony for stealing our money when he signed that contract. It's so funny because I kept telling people when we signed that, there were a lot of people like, all right, we keeping them home. I was like, oh, are we going totally in the back for McGarry? As a role grader for the running game, absolutely. I've said it all through the week. When they need to run, they go to the right side. There's no doubt he's definitely specializing in the run game. But you must protect the quarterback. You've got to figure that out. You've got to. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Coach Ray in the house. What's going on, man? Said this game shows other teams how to stop us, stack box to stop the run and put pressure on Ridder. Here's the thing, though, Coach Ray. Green Bay tried to stack the box. They tried to stack the box last week. I think Detroit just played better. They did. I know we lost the game, but I just think they played better. I think they played better than they were tougher. They were tougher on both sides of the ball. ATLAX says after the half, Alton Smith had to say was that we would be fine, and he was confident. That says no adjustments were made to me. That's what it screams to me. That's what it screams out to me. Shaka Zulu says, I don't know how you fix the O-line. They tried to give McGarry some help by chipping, and he still got beat. Yeah. Jake was getting beat too. Don't just I don't want this to be the crap on McGarry alone. He was getting beat as well. A1 forever, man. Y'all make sure y'all check my man Tip out over there on YouTube, man. What is going on, brother? How you doing? He said, stop being cute. Run the ball. And here's the thing. I'm going to go back to what Vinny was saying earlier about you can't run the ball all the time. But here's the problem. You've told the world this is your identity. So it's not a secret that we're going to run the ball. I get what you're saying. But at some point, if you're down 13-3, you know what I was waiting for them to do? I'm waiting for them to go back to that script against Cleveland last year when Cleveland was up by a touchdown. And the Falcons said, you know what? Screw it. We're going to run the ball every time. We're going to run the ball 15 straight times. And between Caleb Huntley and Tyler Algier, we ran down, tied the game, and went on to win. I don't know. G says Arthur's calling run plays on third down goes to show that Arthur is not fit to be a head coach in the NFL. That's my opinion. That's what we're here for, brother. JJ says Sean Payton think it's 2011. Sean Payton think he got Drew Brees. Boy, Russell Wilson, boy. You know who the most valuable player in the Russell Wilson household is? His agent. He finessed the mess out of Denver. Because all that money is guaranteed. He finessed Denver brutally. Because they're stuck with him, man. There's not a team that's going to take that contract. I wouldn't. Demetrius, what's going on, man? Say that we can't get London and Pitts more involved, and it's going to be a long season because they are two playmakers that can make a difference in the game. And both Dimitri, I saw two plays. Well, Pitts, I saw a couple. I know I keep hearing people say he stopped. I know there was one route that I did see look like he kind of stopped, but then it was a couple of them that were going over his head. He had that Mariota look. He had that dance Mariota throwing the ball look. Really got to stop staring people down, too. I said that earlier. You got to stop. WCG in the house. What's up? Saying Ritter has looked the same from game one minus last week. Late. Fair. ATL Focus, what's going on? Said we haven't, there we go. Said we haven't had consistent good play calling since you know who, and even that bat fired at the wrong time. True. Talk about our buddy in Frisco. Perry says Saints, Panthers, Dallas, Sean Payton lost today. When the Bucs lose tomorrow, this will be a good week. Rise up, go Falcons. And again, that's why we have the Monday Minutia. If y'all enjoyed today, please check us out tomorrow, Monday Minutia around 6 o'clock. We take our 24 hours to kind of exhale and see if this same talk is going to be, are we still going to be in the same place about this team? It's fair to do that because I know today was ugly, and when it's ugly, you know, all of y'all want to talk about it, and I want you to talk about it. I don't have a platform to agree with me. Have a platform to give. This is the platform to get your opinions. I'm not looking for agreements all the time. I might be on a whole other side of this. I think the defense played well. I thought Ritter wasn't to blame the whole game. I thought the offensive line was hot garbage today. And I think they need to start thinking about things to do about their $15 million making right tackle. We got to make some decisions over there. Douglas, what's going on? Said most undefeated team. I said most undefeated teams lost today. That's crazy. Yeah, a lot of upsets today, unless you're Kansas City. And I know Kansas City's not undefeated. But they beat up on poor Bears. Pasta Girl says, to be honest, the only team looks like in the NFC is 49ers. I say the Eagles too. I said that at the beginning of the year, folks. The NFC is the Eagles, Frisco, and everybody else. The Eagles, Frisco, and everybody else. As y'all saw, Dallas was exposed today. No shock. Not shocked at all. Those are the elite teams in the NFC. And barring somebody having a lucky break or there being a major injury, I think we'll see them again in the NFC Championship. I hope we don't. I hope there's a red and black team in there, but those are the two class teams in the NFC. RJ says, Koo starting to make missing field goals a pattern every game. I'm trying to tell you. Koo got a pass. Koo got a pass because we had that kid. Who was the kid that we brought in here? Italian name. Brought in here for a quick second. We had to bring Matt Bryant back in for a minute. Then Koo kind of evened things out. You got to straighten them kicks out, Koo. We're paying you way too much money, brother. WCG says, according to PFF, Ritter is the worst rated quarterback in terms of, I believe it's called interception percentage. Yeah. What does that mean? Think I'm going to have an interception? I mean, I agree. Folks, I've come to the conclusion that we don't have one of the more talented. I'm not talking about numbers. I'm not talking about things like that. We don't have one of the more talented quarterbacks in the league. So, because of that, it's even more imperative for your offensive line to do its job. Because we can't ask someone who's not as talented to do their job if we're not protecting him. The chances of him having a good game go up when you protect him. Today, I cannot, in good conscience, make this a dump on Ritter day. Not today. Because the offensive line did not give him any favor. 7 sacks. Now, granted, 2 or 3 of the sacks were Ritter's. You can't hold the ball for 5 seconds in the NFL. I don't care who you play. After 5 seconds, you need to be either running or throwing the ball out of bounds. So, Douglas says defense did good. It's just the offense. Hey. NLMB, what's going on? Say, hey, how you doing? I'm still thinking if we had a healthy Deshaun Watson or a healthy Lamar Jackson, what would we be like? Don't forget, it was rumors we were supposed to get one of them. Let me tell you something, and I've said this publicly. Prior to the season, I wanted Deshaun 2 years ago, and I wanted Lamar this past off season. Since we don't have them, I have put myself on a ban from going to the what if with them. I'm going to address yours because you're bringing it up to me. Yes, you're right. We would look better. But we got Desmond, so we move it on. But it's an excellent point. I'm not disagreeing with you, but got to give love to my man who wearing the brand. You wearing the brand, I gotta ride with you. The MD20. What's going on? Say they really need to reevaluate that O-line, plain and simple. That was the worst I've seen them. I've seen them worse. It looked worse because it's been a while since we've seen somebody get sacked 7 times. Douglas says Ritter was playing scared, and I don't know why we change our plays. Another play calling thing. Motown Dirty said 33 Flowers looks so confused. Yeah, we got to figure that out too. Got to figure that out. Got to. Andre says, do you want your defense to get sacks? Yes, but more importantly, what you want your front 4 to do is get pressures and hurries. To interrupt the timing of quarterbacks and receivers. Sacks are only a plus. And you bring something out real good there, Coach. Do we actually have the solid four? And again, giving kudos to the defense for what they tried to do. Do we have one of those defense where you can rush for and let everybody do what they're supposed to do? I think that kind of the answer, I think, is no. Do we have solid packages at certain times? Absolutely. But man, I wish we just had those 4 to 5, because you got to rotate 1 or 2 in. 4 or 5 linemen that you can just say, blow the whistle, and they just go mad and go for the quarterback and make an impact. And because we don't have that, I think that's where you got those moments where Jared Goff could kind of pick you apart a little bit. And he didn't pick us apart tremendously, 243 yards. But it just seemed like because this was one of those games that was kind of tough sledding for both teams, every place was so magnified. I mean, I'm looking at the receivers. St. Brown, you knew he was going to do his thing. 9 catches, 102. Laporta, the tight end, killed us. 8 catches for 84, especially that 45-yard touchdown. You know, aside of that, and you say aside of that, obviously they lead to the loss, but I still like what we did defensively. Let's get it, GA. What's going on, my friend? Say, Uncle, I'm so tired of Arthur Smith. His pass concepts are so generic and so predictable. I've said it since the very beginning. When defenses make us one-dimensional, we're in trouble. We saw it today. Absolute facts, my friend. Y'all make sure y'all check the man out. I know he makes a lot of shorts going on, but y'all still check out his channel. Let's get it, GA. Stephen Gibbons is here. What's going on, man? Say, glad you're providing a fair hand. Was Ritter spooked by Aiden Hutchinson? Sure. Look like it to me. Well, hey, I'm going to tell you something, man. I want to take a little side note. Aiden was doing that little stanky leg, wasn't he? I'm sorry. I'm a Falcon fan, but I love dancing. He had that stanky leg rolling a little bit. Hey, say what you want to say. When you sack a couple of times and have the pressures he did, forced to fumble, you can do whatever you want to. But it did look like he was in his head. MD20 says, I trust the defensive backfield enough to take more risk in blitz packages or even a couple of jailbreaks. We have to generate pressure. Yes, absolutely. Stephen Gibbons, so everyone is letting Matthews off the hook. I'm not letting off the hook. I don't know whether you heard me earlier. Absolutely. No. My brother Alan Mike is in the house. What's going on, man? Say, we still have 0 pass rush. They had 7 sacks. We need bigger, heavier guts to rush the quarterback. One, I agree with that. When we're doing the kind of the 3-4-ish type thing, and this is where John Harris would be perfect for me in this position. If you're going to do those type of things, you can't have 290 pounds, 300 pounds at the alleged nose tackle spot. You got to get one of them 330, 340, sloppy, ugly, snag-a-tooth, just soak up the line defensive guys at the nose. You got to. And I think that, I don't know why that bothers me when I see that, but yeah. Kenzel, what's going on, man? Say, just think, is it too late to say Caleb Williams and new head coach? Kenzel, I'm not going all that far. What's going on, my brother? But listen, I still think this is an aberration. As I look at the Atlanta Falcons, folks, I don't want to start looking way ahead. These are our next few games. Jaguars, I don't know whether they're on the road or not. Jaguars, Texans, Commanders, Buccaneers, Titans. Those are our next 5 games. I'm not in a position. The Falcons aren't in a position to overlook anybody, but I cannot give up in one bad game. There are a lot of teams that had bad games. Kansas City had a bad game. Baltimore had a bad game. I'm not saying we're in those leagues, but I'm saying every team is going to have a bad game. Dallas had a bad game. That's just the nature of the beast sometimes. See, Cincinnati has a couple of bad games. Denver had a horrible game. So every team has one. I'm not ready to just sweep it to the side. But Arthur Smith has to learn. G says, on the bright side of things, at least we're not Denver. Absolutely not. Oh, man. Let's skip down here. Pasta Girl says, outside the Dolphins today, all teams look horrible. Don't be surprised if the Falcons start to bring kickers on the practice squad. Yeah, I know. But remember they signed that was the weird thing. Remember in the summer they signed the kicker to the 3-year contract and then got rid of him like 2 weeks later? That was weird. Slim Dollars in here. Y'all make sure, again, as y'all coming in, please make sure y'all hit the like button on the YouTube channel and on Facebook. I appreciate it. That helps us get out there and get this video into the stratosphere there. And again, y'all share the video if you like. We appreciate it. Some Dollars said it's not Ritter playing scared. It's the defense don't respect Ritter because the Ritter, Arthur Smith, don't throw the ball deep. So the defense just sit on the route the whole game. That stopped the runs too. That's a fair point. Raymond says, what's up? What's going on? Raymond says, going back, watching the game again, offensive kudos goes to all. Offensive play calls, O-line, receiver, quarterback need to improve. I'm sure you meant defensive kudos. On that one, I'm pretty sure you did. Here's my other tab. Of course, trying to shine in on me. Sorry about that, y'all. Hold on one second. Get out of here. There we go. All right. Anthony White is in the house. What's going on, Ant? He says Falcons offense got to get it together ASAP. This is true. Yeah, Tavicchio. That's his name. Thank you. Appreciate it. I remember him. That's him. Absolutely. Say Italian nice. Oh, man. Y'all leave a man alone, man. Barry says, how 95% CP was playing today, and you wake up and 5% one say he was not playing today. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't understand what is going on. King Richie says, when are we going to fix this pass protection, man? I tell you what, you better figure it out because this is on a national stage, man. You don't want to get embarrassed. You want to go all the way across the pond and be embarrassed, man. Demetrius says, one more missed kick and Koo is no longer invited to the barbecue. Oh, man. My brother Ricky is in the house. What's going on, Rick? How you doing, buddy? I know you were feeling it today, man. Say we shouldn't have given McGarry Monopoly money. No, we should have given him Monopoly money. Then it wouldn't have counted. We should have gave him fake money. Then when he messed up, like, hey, what was that? Anthony says, let's talk about the play calling and offensive line. Yeah, they were horrible. Absolutely horrible. My man Winston is in the house. What's going on, bro? Winston said, what's going on? And chat, smash that like button. Yes, please. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it, folks. Chuck says, the real question is, who is a good candidate for a head coach? Blank messed up by not allowing the GM to find and hire the best guy. And I still, to this day, Chuck, I don't understand the backwards way that happened because I know they hired Arthur Smith and then New Orleans was still in the playoffs. So we couldn't officially hire Terry until New Orleans was out of the playoffs. And then that's what we did. But it's still backwards to me. I don't understand that. 3:30 in the house. What's going on, brother? Said up. How much did the environment play in the offense collapse today, in your opinion? Yeah, I mean, again, as people are quick to tell us about Desmond being 4-0, and now he's 0-3 on the road. I don't know. Maybe that's psychological. I know when we go across the pond, this is neutral. So you should feel good. But I who knows? Maybe it is something. Maybe he needs that. Maybe he needs that extra push. You better not. I mean, in the NFL, you got to learn how to win on the road because you're not going to be successful if you don't get that done. WCG says, what offensive line would look good when you have a quarterback that holds on to the ball long and pats the box and all-out blitzes because they don't fear Ritter? It's a fair point. It's fair. As much as I say I'm defending and not defending him wholly, but I defend him this game because of the bad play. But at the same time, you know, you gotta figure that out. Slim Dollar says, Coach, that's a Mike Smith statement talking about the sacks. Yes, you want sacks because sacks means you're putting them behind the sticks and it makes them hard to get those yards back. Sacks and picks are king in the NFL. Coach says, yes, we have the four to put the pressure on the quarterback. They actually were in Goff's face all day today. He's just a veteran quarterback who still got the ball off. And then, you know what? And I give Goff a lot of credit. I was telling people before, this is the most seasoned quarterback we saw this year. And I told people, I honestly thought this was going to be a track meet today. And not because Ritter's so great. Is because at some point we were at least mixing it up to make it look like we were doing some good things. So I just thought it was going to be a much better scoring opportunity. But for us not to score one touchdown, it's crazy. Ricky said defense made the difference. If we couldn't get 24 points, we can't win in the NFL. Bottom line, got to score. Winston says, can we please talk about how terrible Ritter is flat? On September 24th, again, I'm going to hold my tongue on that because, in fairness, I cannot expect my quarterback to be efficient if he is being chased, if he is being hit, if he is being sacked 1 out of every 3 plays, 1 out of every 3 passing plays. So I'm going to hold that seriously, hold that close to me because I really feel like this can't be the crap on Ritter show. Listen, I got flack for crapping on Ritter during the wins. So I'm flipping around telling or trying to explain that you can't crap on them as much in this loss because the offensive line, they weren't even making the holes they normally do for the run game. So I don't know. And then throw in some mystery play calling, and it's crazy. So they said, got to give it to the Detroit fans, too. They were loud. That's a loud place. Ford Field look like they are very loud. Ricky says, we still had quarterback pressure, even though it didn't get the sacks. We got enough pressure to keep the Lions honest. It wasn't a blowout. We just didn't have any offense production. I'm telling y'all again, the defense, man, defense is all that. Winston says that's why we brought up Timmy Horn for this game. And for the most part, the offense balled down. The D-line looked good. Now, the defense, and there are not enough accolades for what this defense did in this game. Winnable games, Ricky says. Said Colorado had a bad game. Yeah, they're going to have a bad game this week, too. Everybody has them. King says, I think they were looking ahead to London and overlooked them because of injury. Yeah, I think you can't look at that injury report and just all of a sudden assume that your game is going to go your way. You're absolutely right, King. Ghost Peppers is here. What's going on, Ghost? See, I've noticed that Art isn't calling fast developing plays in situations where we need fast developing plays. When DR is running for his life, Art has to call plays to help out his quarterback. It's interesting you say that. It really does seem like, and again, I know I keep mentioning him all day. John Harris used to beat this down in my head. You got to get the ball out when you know the defensive line is coming. By the second half, you knew Detroit was coming. So you need to adjust to get those balls out of Desmond's hands quick. And I'm not talking about the swing pass that every team in the NFL knows we do to the running back. I'm saying crossing routes. I'm saying little 5-yard outs. Just something to get the ball out of his hands so he just isn't getting hit all the time. He's got to help. That's perfect. You're right, Ghost. He's got to help his quarterback. Steven says people are upset because they believe Detroit beating Kansas City was a fluke. I don't think it was a fluke. I think they were lucky that game. I really do. Kadarius Toney decided he didn't want to play for the Kansas City Chiefs that day and catch balls. They really should have won that game. But give Detroit credit, man. Like I said, that's a tough team there. That's a tough team. They played tough ball today. They absolutely played tough ball. Not all kudos to them. Ricky says Arthur Smith needs to take the training wheels off Ritter and let him make mistakes. This win now mentality can't go into effect until we click it in all 3 phases. That's smart. G says, do you think Terry may have already had somebody in the back pocket to take over a head coach if Arthur is canned? You wouldn't be a great GM if you don't think about those things. You do. I don't want to give the perception that I think that's what he's thinking now. Again, as I just ran off that last list for you, these are the teams that you got to compete/win. The Houstons, the Commanders, the Jaguars, the Buccaneers. Those are the teams you have to beat if you plan on being in the conversation for postseason. He's won 66% of his games this year. So I'm not sounding the alarm, but I am very concerned. But it's a fair question. Yeah, I think as a GM, you always have to have your next move made. You always have to. It would be foolish of you not to. You wouldn't be doing your job if you weren't. Billy Mills says, I still believe Ritter would be fine eventually. I hope so, too. I hope so. My brother Stephen Alford is in the house. What's going on, brother? Say we look terrible. It's only been 7 games with Ritter, but I see multiple interceptions every game. Yeah, interceptions that the other teams just aren't making. Maybe he put some slick on the ball because that's the first thing that a lot of the pro-Ritter people say, well, he's not throwing interceptions. Well, 1, he fumbled the ball today. He got to hold on to the ball. And 2, he's again, I'm not going to do it. I'm leaving it alone today because, again, the offensive line did not do their job. But you're absolutely right. Ritter is interesting. He's not the most talented guy, but we set it up where he can be successful as he was last week as long as the line protects. That 4th quarter last week, the line protect. And he looked like someone who could thrive in the NFL last week. I didn't say all pro. I didn't say a pro bowler, but he looked like somebody who would thrive when the offensive line gave him time. So that's what I'm hoping, Steve. James, what's going on, cuz? Said, I think Ritter is not seeing the field with the limited time he has. That's a fair point. That's fair. Perry says, I don't understand why coaches don't see how other teams get their star players open on offense. It just seems like our stars are stuck to DBs like glue. I'm going to give you a perfect example. I was watching the 4 o'clock games and the oversaturation of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, which is a whole nother story. Every person in the NFL knows Patrick Mahomes is looking for Travis Kelce. So today against Chicago, who is dreadful, we could be in Chicago, which we're not, thank God. Knowing that Travis Kelce is probably the most targeted person in the NFL, Travis Kelce caught a pass in the back of the end zone where there wasn't a person 3 yards in either direction. All he had to do was jump up and catch a touchdown. The great ones find a way to do it. The great ones find a way. Do I think eventually we have some great ones? I think Drake has the ability to be very good. I think Pitts has the ability to be very good. But you got to find the time, and we got to figure out some creative ways offensively to get those guys the ball. You got to. And until we do, we're going to keep having this same conversation over and over again, and people are going to get ticked off. And I don't blame them. Kenzel says, let's just bring Ryan back from retirement. I'll pass. Wallace said, what's going on? What's going on, Brother Wallace? I think we just played a bad game from the offensive side of the ball because they didn't come to play today. Yeah, but and again, you got to come to play every game, but you're absolutely right. Rusty says the problem is when he had time to throw the ball, it was airmailed over the receiver's head. I will say that today. When he did have time, Rusty is absolutely correct. There were a couple of plays that you just said, man, bruh, I just need that to come down. So here's the conundrum. When I say that, the apologists for Desmond Ridder will say, well, he's basically just a rookie because he's only played a couple of games, not being fair. But those are the same apologists when I come back and try to say, well, what has Ridder done? And they'll hurry up and mention those 4 games from last year. Like, which one is it going to be? You can't overthrow your guys like that. Now, Grant, I saw Justin Love do it. I saw Jordan Love do it today. We saw Bryce Young do it with us and against the Saints. CJ Stroud, y'all better be careful. CJ looked like he ready to play. Before he had his concussion, Richardson looked like he ready to play. You got to do it, y'all. I understand there are going to be mistakes and bumps along the road, but management, y'all told us Desmond was ready. Y'all told us he's going to be the man. Y'all told us he was going to be improved. So it's fair. So again, for September 24th at 8:49, I am not going to blame him for today's loss because I really feel like the offensive line did not do him justice, but I am not naive to act like he's arrived. Brother Travis says we need a true 3-technique D tackle. I actually heard you talk about that in the Atlanta Bird game, and make sure y'all check my buddy Tidy and Mark out every day after the post games. They'll be on Atlanta Bird game. Make sure y'all give them a like, and also in the Atlanta Bird game Facebook group, which we are in right now. Y'all make sure y'all check them out. So look how McNeil from Detroit was killing our line. A 3-4 defense need a big Vince Wilfork type defensive tackle. Is so funny because I actually was talking about that. I don't know when you jumped on, Travis, but I actually mentioned that a little earlier about needing that guy. Latoya is here. Latoya says play calling was awful. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was not good. Nando's in the house. Nando says, how many people are hurt trying to catch Ridder's pass? But the coaching and O-line pass protection didn't help us either. Nando, see, look, whether I always agree with him, and in this I do agree, but Nando is never afraid to tell you how I feel. I love having people like that you can, it's just how you feeling, folks. That's real. Austin says, what's up with Jeff Okudah and Trey Flowers splitting snaps? Is he not fully healthy? It is a question. It is a question because Jeff Okudah is supposed to be your guy, right? Big homecoming? I don't know. Ghost Pepper says, everyone knows Ridder doesn't have the keys to change games. Everyone knows McGarry struggles with pass blocking. Art is just trying to outsmart himself and give the right side a chance. Yeah. Yeah. Winston says Ridder gave the defense 3 sacks by tripping over his own feet. So statistically, the line is accredited with 7 sacks, but truly his own gave up 4. Yeah, there were definitely a couple that you can say that was his fault. Facebook user says, I seen 2 overthrows from Ridder that could have been either a touchdown or a momentum changer. Yep. Mike says Coach should have been having Ritter sprint outside the pocket and stay behind the center. You got to, man. You got to. Dominique, what's going on? How you doing? Thank you for joining us again. As y'all joining us in here, make sure y'all hit the like button, especially on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, make sure you hit the like button for me. Just want to make sure that we get this stuff out there so other people in the Atlanta Falcon area can check us out and see what we got content-wise. A reminder that tomorrow we'll have the Monday Minutia. We'll have that every Monday except next Monday. But we'll have just the opportunity to talk about the game, take a deep breath, talk about what's going on. Slim Dollar says, to me, Arthur Smith playbook is simply the 4-minute offense and stretch it out for the whole game. Arthur Smith is about to run himself out of a job. I hope not, but it's facts. Ghost says, what gets me is Arthur Smith's penchant not to recognize his personnel groupings on offense when he calls plays. Algier is a north-south runner, so stop tossing the balls on run play. You know, it's so funny you say that because I saw him do that. I said, why is Algier taking a toss sweep? That's not his game. Algier is run north-south, get through the big uglies. That's your Bijan play if you're going to do that. I'm not saying he isn't physically capable of do that. And I know there are people that say, well, offensively, you got to keep him off back. I get that too. But that's not his strength. His strength is hand the ball off. He'll knock 2 people over. How many times have you honestly seen Tyler run through the line and get knocked back? I can't think of more than 2 since he's been here. I ain't talking about like this year. Tyler runs north-south. He runs through the middle. I hear you. They keep it simple with a handoff with fullback blocking. Keith Smith in front. Move it out. Stunts in the house. What's going on, Stunts? Say them 2 overthrows by Ritter probably could have been touchdowns. Absolutely. Absolutely agree. And it would have been a big momentum changer. Nothing but facts, bro. King says, I'll take Kyle Pitts for Brock Bowers. Uh-oh. Oh, Lord. But here's the problem, though. You get Brock Bowers he might not put Brock Bowers in the game. I mean, he might not feed him like he needs to. I think the problem that we're finding out with Kyle Pitts is that in this offense, the way it's constructed, you really didn't need a Kyle Pitts. You could have lived with Jonnu Smith, Michael Pruitt, Parker Hesse, Fitzgerald. You could have lived with that. The way they do this offense, you don't need that type of star. But it's too late because you drafted them a couple of years ago. And now you got to figure out a way to get them the ball. Not telling you we still can't get this thing going. But quite honestly, I'm not trying to bring anybody else in here anyway because it's going to be the same thing. That's why when everybody was screaming this year, let's get D-Hop. Let's get D-Hop. For what? D-Hop wouldn't have been getting passes in this offense. Last year, me and Drake get along well. We got our chemistry together. How many passes Drake had this year? 8? 9? I'm just saying, y'all. 330 say looks like Pitts is either slightly injured or he did a lot of jogging down the field. Hope it's not, but I'm not getting the ball issue. It was one play that I saw where he caught it. It might have been the last pass he caught, and he got up and he almost looked like he was wincing. So that might be a good call, man. Coach says, they put one player on the defensive line, and he managed to not complete the pass. That's worse than 23-7. Oh, Lord. That one Falcon fan, what's going on? Say, sell the team. Enough is enough. Get rid of Midler, trade Kyle and Drake, and get some real pass rushers. Fire the coach. Reset the whole team. There's no excuse for this BS. Ritter sucks. Now that is what you call an incensed fan. And make sure I got it all right. He said, trade Kyle, trade Drake, get rid of Ritter, fire the coach, reset the team. Woo. That's a lot. But we're fans, y'all. I'm not, and a lot of people are going to come back and say, oh, man, you got to be crazy. Blah, blah, blah. And I get it. We're emotional. We want this team to win. We want this team to be 17-0. I get it. Obviously, I get it. But take that deep breath. That Falcon fan, I want you to come back to the Monday Minutia tomorrow and make sure we take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Oh, man. Coach Saban brought up the dreaded 23-7. Oh, man. Pasta Girl says, side note, I like DeMarco Helms. Yeah, Helms is going to be nice. He's going to be nice. He said the pass rush is dead. That one Falcon fan said 3 sacks this season. 3 out of 3. Extrapolate that out to the season, that's 17 sacks. It's not good. Wallace says, I think some of Ritter's struggles are on Arthur Smith's play calling and how many receivers are going out on passing plays. Fair enough. Nanda says, but the offense was ready after 3 games, beg to differ. Pasta Girl says we should call Muhammad Sanu to play quarterback. Muhammad Sanu probably about threw the best bomb in the last 5 years. Facebook user said, what's your YouTube name? It is, and I'm going to take this off. There it is down there. Uncle Steve's Lounge 6831. Right down there. Thank you. And if you happen to get that again, those of you that are watching an Atlanta Bird game, please feel free to go to the YouTube. Like I said, it's right there under Uncle Steve's Lounge 6831. And subscribe to the channel. Pop in every time. Don't have to worry about you'll get your notifications, and we appreciate it. Thank you for asking. Let me skip down here a little bit because I want to get a couple of people that we haven't seen. I've seen a couple of new people. Miss B is in the house. What's going on, ma'am? Thank you for joining us. I know it was a rough one today, but hey, we'll get it together. Latoya says exactly. No more offensive weapons needed. Arthur has no idea what to do with them at this time. King Richard says, I miss Alex Mack. Yeah. Pasta Girl says, now guys, it's week 3. Relax. It's hard, Pasta. Because remember, I've always told people, unlike basketball, baseball, when the Braves lose 3 in a row, you lose 3 in a row out of 161, 162, it's no big deal. Football, you have in pros, you got 17 opportunities. It used to be 16, I know. But 17 opportunities. So one loss feels huge. I know a lot of people don't like that, but it feels huge. And it is. As an NFC game we lost, which could come back to bite us later on. It's not an overreaction. You got to win games when you have the ability to win games. So, yeah. Travis says it's crazy how Kyle Pitts is not being used because everyone was saying how good Arthur Smith's offense is at using the tight end. We need the lady from Murder, She Wrote to figure this out. And if she comes back, then that's a real miracle. Angela Lansbury. Latoya said, just imagine if we had a top-tier offensive coordinator. Oh, my goodness. And that's the crazy thing, Latoya. Is Arthur Smith being selfish? And maybe that'll be my question for tomorrow in the minutia. Is Arthur Smith being selfish as a play caller? And maybe see if there's something that somebody else can do to kind of get this thing jump-started. Again, I'm not trying to say Dave Ragone is my next candidate, but maybe they need to rethink some things. I don't know. The only thing that'll solve this is a win next week at Jacksonville. In London, but with Jacksonville. Pasta Girl says it's a pass rusher in Vegas, Chandler Jones. Yeah, Chandler won't get paid, though, Pasta. Chandler want to get paid. We're not going to be able to do that. Chase Young is somebody that would be interesting. Oh, wait a minute. Did they pay him? I can't remember. G says, I'm starting to bring up old stuff, but just watch TJ Watt get another sack. Makes me wish we drafted him instead of Tack. So, man, I know it's fair. And I know everybody goes back to the what ifs, and that's fine. I play that game time to time, too. My only thing about the TJ Watt thing that I always remind people, it's not like TJ Watt was picked in the top 10, top 20. He was like, 30? So you got all these teams, including Atlanta, that passed on him. So I say good thing for Pittsburgh. It's almost the same thing with the Micah Parsons thing. Here, a lot of people in the same draft as Kyle Pitts. Oh, what if we had Micah Parsons? 9 other teams passed on him as well. So, yeah. Ricky says, yeah, you need to take a deep breath if you think you could trade Pitts in London, get rid of Ritter and AR and get AB to sell the Falcons. Hey, man, again, fandom, you got to love it, man. You got to love it. From your assessment, is our offense ready for the season? And Nando, let me be honest with you. And I said this before. These first 4 games for all teams, not just the Falcons, are like an extension of preseason. They have so many rules that you can't have contact, you can't touch, you can't hit, you can't do this, unlike they did back in the 80s and 90s where they basically knocked your block off in practice. You had 2-a-days. Your body was toughened up, which, again, I don't want to say it's anything scientifically proved, but that's why I think we have all of these early injuries, because we're throwing these guys out in game 1 without proper preconditioning, not in the weight room, but on the field. I think that makes a difference when you get out there and able to get hit. Get a couple of times. Remember, everybody was making a big deal. Desmond wants to get hit. It wasn't saying he wanted to get hit just to get to hurt, but just to get the feel of being able to get hit around. That's real. So ask me that question when we come back from London. Because if we're honest with ourselves, game 1, I think we were okay. Game 2, I think we were better because we did things passing and rushing. And today was putrid. Horrible, no other way to say it. So give me one more game to give you that full analysis. Hey, this is my buddy Tidy in Atlanta Bird game. As I mentioned before, y'all make sure y'all check my buddy out right after the game. I think he does 5:30 after each game. During the week, he pops in. I think tomorrow we have player grades. Please remind me when you do the player grades, Tidy, because I think he comes on either right before me in Atlanta Bird game as well. And then Friday, we got the Waffle House edition, folks, where he's popping all night with the fellas as we talk Atlanta Falcons all night long. What's going on, brother? Say what's up, Steve. You can go to your settings and edit out your numbers on YouTube, your YouTube name, if you don't want them there. I know YouTube automatically. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Thank you, sir. And I appreciate that. I will definitely do that. Thank you so much. You know, I gotta look, my technology skills are horrible. Oh man. Slab Bank says, what's going on, Slab? Said, what happened to moving Bijan around like last game? They were crowding the box. Listen, at some point, that's right too, but I also feel like Detroit was just a better team today, y'all. Detroit did things that just were better. They did. Pasta Girl says, LOL, at least we know we're taking Marvin Harrison Jr. next year. Yeah, and we're taking Marvin Harrison Jr. That means we're in the top 5, and that means we probably don't have a coach next year. Dandre Mentalizer. What's going on, man? Dandre Mentalizer. I'm sorry. The defense gave this offense chance after chance. I knew we were coming back after the Jesse Bates interception. Me too. Ritter and Arthur Smith have to get it together. The O-line is also terrible. We struggle pass rush. Everything he encapsulated in this particular message is what we talked about, and it's just crazy. And it's a perfect thing. Arthur Smith is being selfish and stubborn. He is never wrong. He needs to wake up before he doesn't have a job anymore. Wow. Mills, a lot of talent on offense being wasted by Arthur Smith's play calling. Latoya says coaching matters. Just because a player shows out with one team does not mean they would have showed out with us. We may have a development problem there. That's actually a very good point. Very good point. Nando says he will ask. Absolutely. Francis comes up and says, hey, Uncle Steve, Unc, I was pulling for Ritter, but after today, I know it's early, but I want a chance to win, and I didn't see any spark from him nor the offense. I'm ready for a change. And that's somebody who stays steady. Francis, I've told everybody in the chat, honestly, and I want to keep it 100. As a frequent critic of Ritter, I don't think it was 100%. I don't even say 50% on him today. Offensive line have got to do their job. And in order for us to fairly critique him and fairly say whether he was the reason we won or lost, he got to be upright. And a lot of times today, he wasn't upright or he's running for his life. We've got to do better. We got to figure out some way to protect the man against teams. What do we say? First, we were like, Carolina has the better defense. Oh, wait a minute. Green Bay has a better defense. Well, wait a minute. Detroit has a better defense. We can't keep going into the season now. Maybe is it the fact that they have better defenses or we have a horrible offensive line? But, ATL Skate Man says too many sacks. You don't win if you don't sack. You don't. Folks, I said I was going to take this up to 9 o'clock, and I have passed that because you all have been so active in this chat. I really appreciate you. As again, I like to hear from you all. I like to read the chats. I like for us to all get into this thing together so I can see how y'all feeling. Tomorrow, I will be on the Monday Minutia. The Monday Minutia will be at 6 p.m. tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more about what's going on and then talk about the ramifications coming up for this game in London, because we've got to do something better than what we did today. Remember, the Jaguars are hurting too. They took a 20-point loss to the Houston Texans and rookie C.J. Stroud today. So they're going to be hurting. I appreciate everyone. Do me again another favor. If you did not push the like button, please put the like button on the way out. I really appreciate it. It helps us get this stuff out of there. Thank you so much. Share the video if you like, or the stream. I will be back tomorrow, Monday Minutia, in Uncle Steve's Lounge and Atlanta Bird Game Facebook group. Until then, everyone have a great night. Rise up. We're still 2-1. And if Philly takes care of business tomorrow, we'll still be on top. So everyone have a great evening, and we'll talk to y'all later. Be blessed. Have a great Sunday night.